I really am gonna try to just be consistent with this, take my medication, go to these programs, and really try to see, like, what I can do to improve myself.
Yes, everyone, welcome. Take a seat. Welcome to the try portion of the Chantel Health cycle. So, just so you're warned, I may dip out because this is when everything is sort of up to her, left up to her. She's given the medication, she's given the direction. It's only up to her to see what she does. And, past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior, and we all have seen how it has gone before. Things just don't happen because it's left up to her. But we'll get into this. I am going to try not to be too long on this one. So I just wanted to touch upon this one where she did sort of an update. It was called My Appointment with Internal Medicine. I was put on new meds. New old meds, because if you've been a Chantel follower, we've been here before, and I'm going to get into all that. Before I do get started, you guys know what to do. Appropriately dose all my buttons, like, subscribe, leave a comment, love hearing from you, and I do have memberships below. So let's get into what she has to say, what the clinic has directed her to do, all that good stuff. Also, did you guys think I forgot? My name is Kidneyjay, and the J stands for jerk because my kidneys are a pair of jerks.
So basically, after the clinic, they saw my numbers, and specifically like the creatinine level and like the urine analysis that came back. The doctor was concerned, and he was like, you need to go to the emergency. I'm going to write you a letter to go there.
Okay, so I left this in because she's talking about creatinine. I did a whole video about it. I'll link it up above, but creatinine is one of the big kidney numbers growing up with chronic kidney disease. It was always, what's your creatinine, what's your creatinine, what's your creatinine. Another thing she didn't mention before is her urinalysis. I do wonder if that showed a lot of protein in the urine. Kidneys are designed, they're filters, basically, simplistically put. They're designed to keep the protein in the body and out of the urine. You don't want your protein to be leaked out of kidneys. So just curious about that, because a lot of times protein in the urine is a diagnosis for at least stage 1 chronic kidney disease.
I see a lot of people worried, like, you need to come back to Canada, you need to come back to Canada. And it's like, why? Like, maybe people, like I thought too at first, like, oh no, like, I'm not native here, the healthcare system, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't seem to matter. Like, it doesn't seem to matter where you're from, what kind of, status you have here. The healthcare is pretty darn good.
So I agree. Yeah, stay there, get whatever level of healthcare you're getting done there as you were here in Canada, because it seems to me that a lot of the best practices parallel between Canada and Kuwait. Certain medications you would go on, insulin, all of that. The difference is it doesn't matter where Chantel receives the care, it's up to her. Have you ever heard the phrase, wherever you go, there you are? So it comes a point where you will be given the medication, you will be given guidelines, you will be given instructions on what to do, what to eat. There comes a point where it's up to you, right? And that's where we are right now. We would be the same place in Canada. We all saw what happened in Canada. She just ignored everything. So yeah, stay there, get your health care. I do believe when there's more serious diagnostics, which often does come with chronic disease, maybe, heart scans, kidney scans, all that, she will come back to Canada because those are quite costly.
In OBS saying to start with 5 units of insulin, which apparently was like too low because you're supposed to also go by body weight. So the doctor was like, well, yeah, 5 units of insulin is too low. So you have to go by what your body weight is. So he checked the report with my body weight. So yeah, he went by that, and they weighed me at the clinic, so it was on the report that the doctor wrote for them, so they still had that in the system. And yeah, so he upped it to 15 units of insulin at around 10 p.m. in the evenings.
Listen, I don't care what her weight is. I do notice she's dancing around and not sort of telling what the actual weight was on the paper, whatever, as long as she's appropriately dosed. I know a lot of people in my comments were saying 5 units of insulin is way too little of a dose. So looks like you guys were all right, and he's up to 15 units.
And he put me on some new medication, Zocor. 20 milligrams of Zocor, and this is for, he's saying that these are like baseline medications that they give here, particular in this, I know, at this clinic, for people who are type 2 diabetic, and you know, because of the organs that are affected by type 2 diabetes, you know, number one killer apparently of diabetes is actually heart disease. So he's giving me it's to help with cholesterol. Zocor is actually also used, from what I read, for like chronic kidney disease. So excuse me, he gave me some Zocor. I take one a day of that.
Okay, so this is completely frustrating. So those of you who have been with Chantel know that she was prescribed a statin when she was first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It was in the villa. She just sort of tossed it in the drawer. I think maybe one time she opened the drawer and said, "Oh, what's this? Oh, her statin medication that she never took." It is not for chronic kidney disease. It is for cholesterol. Statins are a class of drug to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease in people who are high risk, like Chantel. Yes, the number one killer of diabetics is heart disease. I'm going to show you why in a second and why statins help. So I've said before, when you have uncontrolled blood sugar, it's like little shards of glass going everywhere in the body, making cuts, making tears. That's no exception for your arteries. So what will happen is your artery will tear, and then what comes in, if you have high cholesterol in the blood, is cholesterol will come in and sort of fill up that hole. And then what happens is you have narrowing of the artery, which can lead to all sorts of problems, you know, heart attack being the main one, stroke, all that not so fun stuff. So that's why when you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, a lot of times you go on a statin. I don't know what her cholesterol levels were, so I don't know, but I do know that makes sense.
He also gave me Forxiga. Forxiga is also a tablet for type 2 diabetes. It's supposed to help regulate blood sugar even more. So I take that once a day.
Okay, so this is the one that is for chronic kidney disease as well as helping lower blood sugar. So it basically helps with the amount of glucose and sodium in your blood, which is, you know, sodium the kidneys are responsible for regulating. So it just takes the stress off the kidneys. Now this is, I don't know if it's pretty much a diagnosis, like I thought, of chronic kidney disease. I don't think she would be prescribed this without that diagnosis, pardon me, as well as it's for reducing hospitalizations with heart failure, with heart complications. So it looks like this doctor that she saw is really looking out for her heart health as well as her kidney health.
Also, I still take my Janumet twice a day with food. So one in the, like, my first meal of the day, and then, so yes, I've been on like kind of a schedule where I, you know, have to be up in the, not early morning, but in the morning enough to take the tablets and everything like that. Like I have a schedule. I have like alarms that I set for my tablets. You know, I don't want to miss one because I have so many now, unfortunately. But anyways, inshallah in the future that will change. Because the doctor's like, you know what can change all of this is if you just completely get your weight under control. So I'll get to that in a minute.
So it seems like they talked quite a bit to her about her weight. So coming up, she has a appointment with the obesity clinic as well as the diabetic education course, which, by the way, again, she was referred to in Canada, which she didn't bother going to. We'll see how this goes. She had to just take her Genumet before once a day, and she couldn't follow through with that. So I'm not sure how this new regime of medications and injections is going to work out for her. Like I said, I'll be here if she, gives us health updates, but this is usually the time where things fall apart because it's, like I said, it's all up to her at this point. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.